Joe, another day of practice here done at St. John Fisher College. I don't know about you, but I thought inside linebacker Zac Brown was the MVP today. He really stood out. He was burning fullbacks and tight ends and one-on-one blocking drills. They need him to step up.
Yeah, Zac Brown is in there because of Reggie Ragland's injury, and I agree with you wholeheartedly. I think Zac Brown was fantastic today. I mean, this is the way I wrote it in my 7 observations at WKBW.com. He was playing like a man with his hair on fire. That's exactly what he was doing. And it wasn't even just the one-on-one drills, which he dominated, by the way. It was in team drills where he had to cover running backs or tight ends. He did so very well. You know, when he had to fill the lane against the run plays, he did that a few times, and then even got in for a sack when he came in on an interior blitz. I mean, Zac Brown was just playing very well. The Bills will hope to see a lot more of those days from him, because if Reggie Ragland is out for a considerable amount of time, they need him to step up and be a solid starter next to Preston Brown at that weak side spot.
But we still don't know what's going on exactly with Reggie Ragland.
Nope, not yet. And you know, some will say, hey, it's not an encouraging sign that they're still swelling, or, you know, you can speculate it one way or the other. But at this point, the only thing we know is the report that's out there from NFL.com that says it's a partial ACL tear, and even a partial tear makes you quiver a little bit if you're a Bills fan. So Ragland is an important piece to this season, no doubt about it.
So what else stood out to you today? There were some really nice catches by some wide receivers. It seems like that battle is really, really heating up. Anything else stand out?
Well, in terms of the wide receivers, Matt, I think one guy is really kind of discerning himself from that group of players trying to not only crack the roster, but become the third receiver.
Goodwin?
It's Marquise Goodwin. I mean, he's been all over the place in a good way. He is showing his speed. He's showing that he's been able to stay healthy, which is a huge thing, but we need to see him go through the paces of preseason as well. I've also thought today specifically, Greg Salas's performance kind of dipped a little bit. Dropped a pass, muffed a punt. I mean, this is a player who needs to be so consistent to win that job, because he doesn't really do anything too flashy like Goodwin does. So I think Salas took a step back, and even Des Lewis impressed me for the first time since the pads went on today. He has a long way to go to try and catch someone like Goodwin for that third spot, but he did just fine today.
And I know it's still early, but are Greg Little and Des Lewis both locks to make the team?
I think Des Lewis will make the team just because of his potential. 6'4", 215 pounds. You just don't want to throw that type of player away, especially with the type of good minicamp that he had this year. I think the other part about this, Greg Little, that's someone who's right on the cusp there. He has to show some things in special teams. He's not a great athlete in terms of wide receivers, good blocker, has shown well in camp, but is it enough for him to crack this roster? Can he do enough outside of being a wide receiver to warrant a position on this roster?
What about Hankerson?
I think he's done. I mean, as of what we've seen right now, he is not impressed. Of the 3 veteran wide receivers, whether it be Greg Little, Jarrett Boykin, and Leonard Hankerson, I think he's been at the bottom of that 3 consistently throughout camp, and I have not liked his camp whatsoever to this point.
Actually, this was something that you and I were talking about the other day during dinner. Marcus Easley. I mean, he's still not out here, but you'd have to imagine they just signed him to an extension last year.
Yeah.
So he's going to make this team as well.
Yeah, I think Marcus Easley does have a role on this roster because he is such a noted special teams player, especially as that gunner role. I think he'll probably still crack the roster. Needs to get on the field, no doubt, and show there's no rust there. But I do like Easley still to make the roster because, you know, adds that special teams element, whereas Greg Little, Des Lewis, Leonard Hankerson, Jarrett Boykin, these other guys just don't have that.
Another big day for Stephon Gilmore.
Yeah, 3rd interception in 9 days of camp so far, and this one was another impressive one. Jordan Mills got backed into Tyrod Taylor. It changed the trajectory of the throw, and Gilmore adjusted his body. Actually, the most impressive part was that he read the eyes and the hands of the receiver because his back was turned to the ball when it was thrown. Read the eyes and the hands, reacted to it, changed the momentum of his body, dove forward, and completed the interception. So he's out to make a statement this preseason, this training camp, that he thinks he deserves to be paid like a top corner in the league, and we'll have to see if he can do it.
Awesome. As always, Joe, great stuff.
Thank you.
Now, Joe breaks this all down even further for you on our WKBW app right now. You can go check out his 7 observations. The Bills practicing again tomorrow at 10 o'clock in the morning. It looks like some rain. We were just looking at the radar, so we're going to see what happens with that. Then another practice on Thursday, a night practice, and then, if you can believe it, the Bills have their first preseason game on Saturday. We've got the pregame show for you on 7 ABC immediately before the game at 6:30. Turn on Channel 7. You'll see him talk, and you'll see me stand still. Have a good night, guys.